What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 25 of the Potty Mouths podcast, also known as PMP. I am always your co-host, Greg.
And I'm Vinny.
And we're going to react to a huge rivalry weekend in college and look at what happened in the NFL and update you on what's going on in some other leagues. Finally, we've put them on the back burner, but we'll talk about them today. And we're going to do trivia today. A little change up in the format. We'll do trivia on Tuesday today, see how that goes, and see where trivia will land going forward.
Yeah, it's been a really interesting last couple days, week, if you want to say, or so, between NCAA, especially with the rankings and the playoff coming out last night, and then the NFL games this past weekend. So we'll touch on everything and get into it. We'll start off with college football, which was a wild game. The Georgia Tech versus the Georgia Bulldogs. What was that, Friday night that game was? Yeah. So what a game. I mean, I kind of watched a little bit of this. Georgia wins this game 44-42 in 8 overtimes. I went to bed thinking that Georgia Tech was going to win this game, and then I had somebody walk in and tell me that Georgia had pulled this off in 8 overtimes, and I was kind of shocked, actually, because
you have people walking into your bedroom?
No, walking into work and talking about it. Yeah, no, I don't. I spend more time at work than I do anywhere else. So yeah, Georgia comes out 44-42. Georgia Tech has beaten some good teams this year, and I thought this was another time that they were going to beat another good team, but didn't really work out for them this game. But they threw everything at them. Georgia obviously comes back and wins. Did you watch this whole game, or what were you doing? Because I'm sure you had a lot of things going on.
I had my eye on the score, and then when I knew it was going into overtime, I watched it, and then I lost interest again after like the third overtime. I don't know why. I don't know what I was watching or doing. But I knew the score at all times. I just wasn't really watching closely. Once it went to overtime, I figured Georgia was going to pull it out.
Yeah,
athlete.
There was a lot of times Georgia Tech in the second half. Second quarter, even in the first quarter, had instead of that was a game where they couldn't just depend on field goals, and they really needed touchdowns if they were really going to win this game and put it really completely out of reach. But resilience by the Bulldogs coming out with a win here in this game. So good win. I mean, for the Dogs, Georgia Tech put everything out there, and that's all I got for you with this one. I mean, the Ramblin' Wreck couldn't do it.
Georgia lands themselves in a rematch with Texas for the SEC championship game.
And I hope Texas blows the doors off of them in that one, but we'll see. Probably, game of the week, in my opinion, obviously because of the result. Your Michigan Wolverines going into the Horseshoe, holding the Buckeyes to 10 points. Michigan wins 13-10 at the Shoe. I kind of caught the end of this game because I was waiting for the Miami disaster to start. I'm happy Michigan won. I don't have any horse in the race here with this, but what does this say for Ryan Day? Has he lost this game now, 2 years in a row?
4
years in a row. There you go. So, he even says it too. This is their biggest game on the schedule. And to lose that 4 times in a row here, what does that say for him and the university per se, as far as being the number 2 ranked team in the country?
The only senior in this Ohio State class to beat Michigan was Quinn Ewers this year with Texas.
It's interesting.
So it's been complete domination. Day I don't want Day should be fired because clearly he's not a big game coach. I heard a hilarious joke that he's the Michael Jordan of the James Franklins.
That's kind of ridiculous, but
Listen, I'm biased.
good.
Did not make the playoff. I don't care what the resume is. They should miss the playoff for this.
I kind of agree, and just in the concept of like,
Come on. It's a terrible loss.
I couldn't agree more, and we'll talk about it in a little bit here, but I don't understand the criteria for the playoff, I guess, and I'm not because of Miami, not because I just don't, and I'm not I just it needs to either be explained better to me or I need to understand a lot more than I really do, especially with SEC football, I guess, and 3 lost teams. But yeah, no, good win for the Wolverines. So any insight on why they decided to fire their OC after this whole situation?
Terrible offense. I know that, but they might just be prepping for Underwood to give Underwood the best possible shot at like being a Heisman hopeful every year. That kid coming in. That's my only guess is they're probably just gonna put him in the best position possible, and they know that they couldn't do anything in the air. So I don't know. They know better than I do, but I don't know. I can't get over how bad Ohio State looked, how scared they coached these kids, how they didn't look like they were going to score ever. And this is the known NIL deals. This is the most expensive team ever with $20 million in the portal, and they lost to a portal kicker from Arkansas State who just completely kicked them down to hell. So I was in all my glory watching this. And then my LSU Tigers go on and pretty much handle Oklahoma like I said they would. So it was a good Saturday for me. Plus, the OG Bloodline won Survivor Series. So it was overall a good Saturday.
Good Saturday.
But yeah, no, the Ohio State expects to beat Texas, Oregon, Bama, even a rematch against Indiana after this.
I don't think so.
Like, I don't know. I don't see it.
I'm with you on that. I think it's going to be hard to come back after that. I mean, it's not just a loss. It's not just another loss. It's the biggest game of your whole season, and you just laid an egg big time against an average Michigan team. Not even a really, like we've talked about it. They're not a great team.
I'm borderline, not shocked, but I'm surprised that Chip Kelly isn't coaching the playoff game.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't. So here's a question too with Michigan: is this guy Sherman Moore the guy? Like, is he like, because like he's
a great motivator. Coach, kids love him.
Okay, I mean, listen, you know more than I do. I just feel like in this day and age, with the way things are, like you had just said, it's the most expensive team. I just don't understand. I don't know a guy like him, and I'm just trying to think of other universities off the top of my head. I guess we were just so used to Harbaugh and the Harbaugh way and all that, and I just didn't know how recruiting in his. It's to me like a school that I don't know who Sherman Moore is. That a name would really kind of be the most beneficial in that whole, and I'm gonna throw a name out there like a guy that's, I don't know him as a Michigan Wolverine, put it to you that way. So I from the beginning was always. Go ahead.
If you look at how they got Underwood, him, Tom Brady was involved. Like they're even Harbaugh would have like Jeter on the field and stuff.
Yeah, and that's amazing, and that's what and we're talking a non-football guy really, right? And but that's the resources that they have. And I mean, look what they did with the LSU quarterback now, right? Now he's going to Michigan, and they paid him a lot of money to do that. And I think donors and Barstool and that guy had a lot to do with it.
Yeah. That's Underwoods. I'm not giving Barcelona any credit for that. They brought in Tom Brady. That's all you need to do.
Yeah.
I won't give him
All
any
right.
credit. But
But I think
yeah,
Portnoy put up money for it.
good. I'll get the hell out of the way.
Let's go to the next game on the slate. South Carolina Gamecocks going into Clemson, beating them 17-14. Another good game on Saturday. A lot of chatter after this that SC should be in the playoff after beating the Tigers. I mean, it was. I think they had a chance of winning that game. I think we went over that last week. They did. Good win for South Carolina. Just too late, in my opinion, I guess, or to matter and to make a difference. I mean, what was the big hoopla? We're trying to have a conversation and say that South Carolina deserves to be in the playoffs.
Where are they? 14. I'm looking now. They're 14. They have no real avenue in now.
No, I mean it's and explain the conversation. Like, what are we talking about? You really considering putting these guys into a playoff at this point, or like what are we talking about?
Here's my question. Say Clemson dismantles SMU. Say they beat them. Say they put 40 on them. They win by 20, right?
Pitch me in.
Does Clemson get in and boot Bama and Miami down?
Miami's not even in.
SMU out? No. But down. And SC's win over Clemson, did they get in at 11?
I don't know. They moved Alabama up after beating Mercer. So what's the criteria?
Well,
I don't understand.
I think if Clemson handles SMU, South Carolina might get in.
We'll see.
Because they would have a win, a true road game, a win over the ACC champion.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I just don't understand. Like, there was weeks that Miami would win games. They won games. They didn't blow teams out. And they would either stay where they were with other teams ahead of them losing or go down, which is crazy to me. And I just had explained to you that Bama had beaten Mercer, where I think if we take 11 people that walk through my doors today, can probably give Mercer football a game. And you're moving them up in a ranking, it just doesn't coincide with what you're trying to accomplish here, especially by expanding the field. It doesn't make sense. Why are you playing the whole season? Why don't you just I don't know. It's just bizarre to me. And then once again, it's not because Miami is not in the playoffs. It's Miami shot themselves in the foot with the Georgia Tech loss. Miami shot themselves in the foot this week with the Syracuse loss. That's the next game up. They lost 38-42. They were up 21 at one point. And up in the dome, we knew it was going to be close. I told you they were going to win. They weren't going to cover. You took them to cover and win.
Yeah, I thought they'd have a little.
They had it.
Spark.
They did. But your defense is terrible. It's been terrible all year. Your head coach looks like he's just there, and it's just really disappointing in that team. They don't deserve to make the playoffs. They don't even belong in the conversation. I didn't think the possibility would be realistic, and you had said it all along. Well, if you get into the ACC game, you know whatever. And here's the team now, 10-2, and on the outside looking in because of really shitty losses to bad teams, and they're not a good team. And the Georgia Tech game and the Syracuse game defined exactly who they were. Shootout against Duke, shootout against Louisville. Bad teams. Bad teams don't deserve to make the playoffs. They got what they deserved, and they don't deserve to be in. So that's the end of that situation for me, at least. And I don't know what this does for recruiting on a day like today for National Signing Day, but what are you gonna do? You're gonna lose a lot of guys.
They sad to say, I mean, they had a very good year, explosive offense. I don't want to say need, it's strong, but it would do them. It would do them a lot of good if Cam Ward can win the Heisman, for recruiting, unless they're just gonna go and get another portal kid. So
Probably. I mean, look, if you're a portal guy at this point and you saw the success that he had there and what they did and the amount of money that he made there, obviously that's what it matters, right? So there are some guys that are going to be available. There's going to be look, Cam Ward's a unicorn, and they were lucky to get him this year. Like I said 2 weeks ago, that he was supposed to go to the NFL. He wasn't even supposed to be in this Miami uniform this year. They blew it. They had their chances. Their defense blows. Their coaching staff needs to. They just can't put it all together. And if you couldn't do it this year and make, when are you going to do it? So that's
who's their D coordinator? Do I know?
I don't know his name off the top of my head. I hope he doesn't have a job anymore. I'll tell you right now.
But yeah, I did hear it put in these terms where it was Miami had the whole season and they avoided Clemson and SMU and they still didn't make the championship game. So okay, I know of the name. I don't know where he came from.
Yeah, no, you had the easiest path in the world, and with that offense and Cam Ward, obviously, there's no this. We shouldn't be having this conversation. So that's all that needs to be said about them.
But you know what?
They're playing the Pop-Tart Bowl.
Yeah, we're against Bama probably. So all right, Cuse and although Georgia Tech might have been ranked or not.
No. At one point, I think they were when they beat FSU early in the year.
I was going to say Cuse loss is better than the Michigan loss. So get Ohio State out of there, put Miami in.
Well, I mean, Miami drops further for losing on the road to an 8-3 team than Ohio State does for losing at home to a 6-5 team. And scoring 10 points.
Yeah, when they were 19-point favorite. Yeah, I'm biased. I'm with you.
I don't know. Let's finish this college slate up.
Go over it.
Kansas State, Iowa State. Iowa State wins 29-21. Iowa State's a good football team. I think I said, I don't know what the line was in this game, but Iowa State at home is good.
I think it was like 3.5.
Yeah, so, and I thought Kansas State coming off those 2 wins was going to lay an egg. Not lay an egg, but just not win this game. So Iowa State wins at home by 8 against number 24 Kansas State. I like their quarterback. I like Iowa State. I love their coach. I know he was a hot name a couple of years ago. I think things obviously cooled down a lot, but good win for the Cyclones. They see themselves they're in the playoffs. Is that true?
We'll see, man. I don't know what the hell's going to happen if Clemson wins. Who the hell knows what's going to happen? I don't know.
Got it.
What if Penn State loses? They have to be gone, right?
Penn State blows. In my opinion,
what's going on.
I don't know what's going on either, but it's not too definitive, I guess, and that's why we don't know because we let me just check this out quick. So Iowa State is not in, if I'm reading this correctly.
No, Iowa State's not in.
Okay. So who's in from that conference?
Big Indiana? 12. They're waiting on Arizona State, Iowa State, right?
It's just mind-blowing to me that the SMU Mustangs are the number 3 seeded team.
I think before Friday, there were 9 teams in the Big 12 still in it for the title game.
All right.
All right, all right. Say Clemson wins, say Oregon wins. You have to put the Big 12 champion in, so then that's going to bounce out. It's going to bounce out SMU. It's going to probably bounce out Indiana.
Mm-hmm. What about Arizona State? Who do they play in that championship game?
It's Arizona State versus Iowa State. Winner gets a bye.
Okay.
So
I
Bama's
think the
not
whole
in.
thing is.
Bama's not in.
I mean, as of today, they are. They're playing Notre Dame.
They're not in because you have to put the Big 12 champion in. That's going to bounce them out.
I hope, because I don't think that.
No, literally the rules are the Big 4 champs get a bye, and then Boise State gets automatic 12.
Okay. Hey, we're gonna see. We're gonna see what happens. And
I think Boise State gets automatic 12 unless they jump up. Can Boise State be a 9 or 8? I thought that the smaller conferences get the automatic 12 seed. I don't know. We'll see. It's first year. Who the hell knows? You missed a game, by the way. Let's do the last game.
I did. I
Yeah.
missed a game. Oh,
You missed
I'm
a game.
sorry. I'm sorry. The battle for Texas. Number 3 Texas versus Texas A&M. Texas wins 17-7. Closer game than I thought. I really thought Texas was going to have to really beat them up pretty good, but I didn't think A&M was that good all year. They had 1 or 2 wins that made you think like, okay, they can play. I mean, obviously they're in a really powerful conference, but did you watch any of this game at all?
No, I had. I think that might have been a 4-box. You know what? I think that's probably what I was probably watching Survivor Series, so I didn't have to spend 3 hours of my life on Sunday watching it. I think I 4-boxed that, and I was just keeping my eye. Texas A&M never. To me, I didn't see them driving the field. I didn't see a reason to be too in tune with that game.
Yeah, I get it.
But yeah, we have a lot left to decide. Obviously, with the championship games. Too bad Army Navy won't be for huge stakes, but yeah. So we have a lot to still be decided, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do with our flush picks. Bowl season. You go bowl each while doing the NFL games. We'll see. But that's college, and the playoff picture is a little murky. But teams will be. I'm very interested to see the big things that stick out to me is Arizona State, Iowa State. They're going to boot out Bama and possibly Miami. Miami is 12. But that won't stay that. And then if Clemson kills SMU, does South Carolina get in? And does Penn State get eliminated with the second loss? Probably not, but they should.
What happens if UNLV beats Boise and they're both 11-2?
Then UNLV gets the 12th seed.
So fucked up. No, I'm just.
No, I hear you. I hear you.
Out loud. Just chatting out loud. No. Hey, listen. No disrespect to any of these teams that are going to make the playoff. I'm just aggravated, I guess, in the sense of
should be 8 teams. Top 2 get a bye. 5 conference winners. Next 3 best. That's what it should be.
Notre Dame join a conference. Enough of this shit too.
But what are they? They're 4, but they can't get the 4. So whatever.
They suck. I hope Freeman leaves and go coaches the Bears.
Oh yeah, he's rumored to get that.
Everybody is. I think you are.
No, I didn't put my hat in the ring yet. I'm trying to own the Jets. I don't want to coach the Bears. I want to own the Jets.
I don't even know who the Jets are. Winnipeg?
Oh, the Warplanes. The New Jersey Warplanes.
Terrible.
All right. Let's lighten the mood up here because college football playoff has us down.
Anger.
So can you hear audio? Can you hear this?
No,
I'm playing the game show tune. It's time for trivia. All right, Vin. See what you got here. Tuesday trivia for you. Which college quarterback currently leads FBS D1, whatever you want to call it, in completion percentage with 74%?
Probably and we're going FBS, right? We're not
D1,
talking
your traditional D1 big school.
Okay.
Completion percentage. It's the only quarterback with a 74% completion percentage.
I think I use this guy's name for every question you ask me, so I'm gonna say Dylan Gabriel.
Ooh, no, I believe he's definitely top 3. I believe he's second or third. It is not him. I think he's at 73.
Wow. So we're close. Oh, let me see. Percentage. Big school?
He's D1. They're
No, I got it, but
school
like
we talk about often.
FAU or
No,
no, okay.
We've talked about this school plenty of times. Talked about this quarterback plenty.
Jackson, is it Dart?
No.
Oh, go ahead, Tommy. I know. Go ahead. I think I know. Go ahead.
Say it. Give me your third and final guess.
Shedeur Sanders.
I'm giving you the audience back because it is.
Yep, I knew it
Shedeur
after you
Sanders.
said that because I fucking hate him.
Yeah, I was looking up stats and nothing caught my eye other than that. All right. You know I love my little mascot trivia, right?
Just quick question. Yeah, what happened at Durant?
When?
Oh, he's
He got
hurt.
hurt?
He's out.
Today?
Yeah.
I did not.
I don't
see
know
that
if it
yet.
was today or yesterday, but he got hurt. He's out for a while. They said
I did not see that.
he's 100, right?
He's on one of my fans. He's still good though.
No, he
LeBron's struggling right now.
He doesn't play defense, by the way. Did you see that the other night?
Which one? Who?
The one when the
LeBron or
whole
Durant?
team. LeBron, Lakers had the ball
40.
on
He's
offense.
40 in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, but like he was out of the defensive picture for like 10 seconds. Like he was walking back onto the defensive side, and the opposing team missed 4 shots, and he's still not even in the frame. I thought he just walked off the court. I don't even know what he was doing.
He's known to walk. He's known to preserve that body.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right. My mascot trivia. You know I love it. As of 2011, and I can't imagine it's changed. As of 2011, what mascot name in D1 was most prevalent, most used mascot name? So Hicksville was the Comets.
Bethpage Eagles.
So I'm looking for
The one that was the most
used D1 with 14 schools using this as their mascot name.
Tigers.
Tigers was top 4, not number 1. I think Tigers was second.
Really? Dang it, because I can think of a lot of Tigers. 14, you said?
14 total. I think Tigers might have been like 12.
That's interesting. It's pretty easy. It has to be, right? I'm gonna go like Bobcats. It's got to be some sort of animal.
I think Bobcats were top 5.
I'm close.
I think Bobcats were top 5.
Is it is it an animal of some sort?
It is an animal. I'll give you one more guess. It's an animal.
Falcons.
Wow, that's you won it. You threw it in there. You threw the towel in with Falcons. Name a college Falcon.
Bowling Green.
Name another one.
I don't know.
It's
Why did
Bulldogs.
throw a towel in? I mean,
It's Bulldogs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Stupid animal. I don't even know if Bowling Green is the Falcons, honestly. I think they are. No, I made that up.
I don't know what Bowling Green is. I should. All right,
I
last.
like the colors.
I'll give you a hint with this one. What is the first movie to ever show a toilet flushing?
Jesus. Are you serious?
Think bathroom scene, think classic movie.
Just looking up the Bowling Green mascot. Oh, he's a Falcon. Freddy the Falcon. Told you. A classic movie with a toilet scene. Like
It's an
what are we
all-time
talking,
classic,
like 60s?
very popular bathroom scene.
Oh my god. I'm so bad. You know me and movies.
Black and white.
Is it like holiday themed or is it like just
It's become probably holiday themed throughout the years because of the story of the movie. Black and white bathroom scene. Classic. You should get it. It should come to your mind if you take a second.
I'm not a movie guy, so I don't.
Yeah, but everyone and their mother and their grandmother has seen this scene. Not the toilet scene, but the scene I'm talking about.
Wizard of Oz.
No. I'll give you one more guess.
I'm black and white. Everybody loves it.
I wouldn't say everyone loves it, but everyone knows it, and it is a classic.
Gone with the Wind.
No. Psycho.
I never saw it. So
You've seen the shower scene.
Yeah, but that's it, though. Movies don't interest me. They just don't. Like
that's why I asked you the trivia.
My favorite movie.
See what the hell you're gonna say.
Like Little Big League or Sandlot or something. Like movies that are fucking meaningless. You know what I mean? Like
I almost asked you a Sandlot question.
I probably would have got it wrong, and I've seen the movie 300 times.
What was the beast's real name?
Maximus.
Hercules.
Same thing. I was closer with that than I was anything else you mentioned.
That was your weekly trivia spot.
It's just comedy hour is what it is.
Onto the pro gridiron.
This game hurts me, and we'll start off with. I mean, the NFL was another interesting week in the NFL. We're in those weeks where I have no idea what's going on, and what I mean by that is,
I think we're in those weeks where the good teams beat the bad teams. So my friend John, a little stat boy, hits a 7-leg parlay.
Does the guy
$10 for $700? The weekend I don't bet. That little shrimp.
Does the guy from our fantasy league who wants the extra move? Does he listen?
He probably
does. No, he probably does.
I don't think he knows. I don't think he knows my name.
So did you? Do I have just real quick? Do I have a chance of making the playoffs?
Yeah, I think the whole league does.
No, I'm in that 7-6, 16 group.
Yeah, you're in.
Probably. All right, that's exciting, I guess.
You're long cut, no pouches?
No. Maybe. Yeah, I think so. See, I don't even know my team.
Yeah, you're in the 7 spot. You're winning in for you.
Winning in. Okay. I think whoever I'm playing has like 8 guys on a bye, which is really, really exciting.
Yeah, brutal bye week situation for everyone but me in the world.
Pittsburgh Steelers went to Cincinnati and beat
Brutal,
the Bengals.
heartbreaking.
This is a score of this game where I would have bet my life against that it was no chance that there'd be 70-something points scored in this game. 81 actually, to be correct here. So 82. My man, I'm a history ed major, by the way. Steelers go in and take care of business here in a shootout with Cincinnati. I mean, if this isn't the theme of this show for the last however many weeks, how many bad losses do the Bengals have? I mean, this is your Bengal team.
Heartbreaking. I literally didn't put on the warplanes once. I saw them on Red Zone like 3 times.
Probably on the pick 6.
I did not put on that team once. I went full Bengals.
You moved on.
I'm done.
Okay.
And the soon-to-be president did not pick Woody Johnson.
No, so now
as
they're really
ambassador.
Screwed.
So Jesus, maybe
really
there's another little position, but we'll see what the hell happens with that. Woody, get out of here. But no, Bengals. How many? My question to your question is: how many times has Joe Burrow put up 38 points and lost?
A lot this year.
Insanity.
I mean, this year's been that's all he's done this year. The guy's numbers are ridiculous.
He's if they have 4 more wins, he's the MVP by far, right?
I'm going to answer your question now because he's put up 38 points almost every game.
He's playing out of his mind. And if this owner and this front office doesn't bring back Chase and Higgins and realize they need to work on defense, get younger, faster, hungrier guys, what are you doing? You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose Burrow. When that contract's up, why would he want to be loyal?
I don't disagree. I mean, look, they lost to the Commanders. They put up 33 points. They lost to the Ravens. They put up 38 points.
My God.
The Eagles game was a loss. They only put up 17.
Yeah, they got killed somehow.
34 points against the Ravens. Loss. 38 against the Steelers. Loss. So, I mean, he's my fantasy guy. I think we talk about him and Chase Daniels. I mean, not Chase Daniels. What's his name? Jaden Daniels. Those are my guys for fantasy in my other league. And thank God for Burrow, because I don't know where I'd be without him. Even though he doesn't win the games, him and Daniels had a great game this past weekend. So
thank God for Burrow in my life.
Yeah, you'd be lost.
Mets have given me kind of nothing. Isles have given me nothing. Bulls have given me nothing. Jets, warplanes suck.
I got a question, actually, now that you brought the Mets up quick. How come they're not on the docket at all? Like, not even like, hey, let's kind of catch up. I mean, I see one name on here that is not even a mentionable situation, but we're going to talk about it. Do they not excite you at all? Like, they don't.
Your brother's been texting me that too,
and my God.
My thought is just, I think
I
think every free agent, especially bat, they're just waiting for the Soto chip to fall. I mean, which is a mistake. I think if you go and grab Burn, but here's the thing too. Boris might be telling these teams like, "Hey, let's get Soto done first, and then we'll talk about Burns. We'll talk about Bregman, talk about Alonso." So,
well, I mean, he's a Montas is a Boris guy. Is that part of the deal?
I did not know Montas was a Boris guy. It doesn't surprise me though. But I don't know. I saw a tweet.
He's Dominican.
I saw a tweet that the Mets have signed 3 guys of note, which really only one is of note. And
who's Siri?
No, I would say Montas is kind of note because they're gonna put him in the fucking rotation. But we're talking Mets instead of Chargers Falcons. But
I just had a quick. That was just a question. But we'll
get to it, Montas. But yeah, the 3 guys that were in the tweet are all Dominican. So
yeah, that's exciting. I guess.
I think it's a little weird if
half the league is Dominican, so I don't know what that means. But
no, because Soto's Dominican.
No, I understand that, but I mean, it's harder to get a non-Dominican than it is a Dominican. Just anyways.
I'm not touching that.
All right, so let's talk Chargers, Falcons. Another disappointing game for Kirk Cousins and the Falcons. A lot of chatter around the fact
that's what you call that? It was a fucking implosion.
It's an implosion, but it's been a disappointing stretch for them. I know. I had the over. So,
what was the over? They hit what, 40?
It was 47.
Ooh.
So they hit 30. That was
30. Yes, right. Oops.
So you're not a math major either. But
yeah.
I was reading some chatter that Cousins might be on the way out off season and start panics. Why? What was the point to sign him, to trade, whatever they did? What's the if you're really considering that? What was the you're giving this guy record money for him again?
I heard his throws were all like under 40 miles per hour.
What does that mean? Does that mean something in the NFL? Like, what's the going speed?
It was out there. I think that's really fucking. You could throw a football 60 miles per hour off your couch.
No, I don't think so. Not anymore.
You could probably hit 50.
Maybe.
But a pro quarterback is not throwing at 40 miles per hour.
He's 100. It's time to go. I don't know why he signed him.
It's better than the Warplanes quarterback.
That's not saying a lot, though. Right? Disappointing, though. Bijan, I mean, the roster's good. And they showed glimpses of that earlier on, but the last couple of weeks, they look like the Warplanes. They look terrible. The Denver game really
the Warbirds
set them apart here.
Chargers defense is great. Harbaugh's got them.
Yeah, he's coached.
Running
coaching.
Around.
It's coaching. What are you gonna do?
You know what? I hope him and Tomlin split coach of the year because they've both done phenomenal jobs.
I agree with that. I mean, I think Harbaugh has less to work with, but that doesn't matter anymore.
Could give it to Sirianni.
Deontay Jones. Deontay, is that his name? Deontay Jones on the Ravens. He's suspended a game. That's why he didn't play the other night. He's a detriment to the team, supposedly.
Who are we talking about? The Ravens?
Deontay Jones. got suspended.
Did not see that.
Just happened. Just Schefter just texted me.
Oh.
Next game in the Dome up in Minnesota. Cardinals go into Minnesota. They lose by a point, 23-22. Vikings win. I don't give a shit about either one of these teams. I don't even care about Daniel Jones. I don't even know if he was in uniform. I didn't think the Cardinals were going to put up that many points, but then again, I think they decided to start throwing the ball to Marvin Harrison again. Didn't watch any of this. Can care less about either team, like I said. But the Vikings are pretty good.
Vikings are good. They play defense. They're pretty
Yep.
fun to watch when Darnold's, being accurate.
Aaron Jones is having a year too, huh?
Yeah, and Hawkinson. I'd like to see Hawkinson do a little more, but they're good. And yeah, you're right. Kyler in the second half started throwing it more. I think they had only like 9 points at the half.
Okay.
But yeah, good team. Viking, Cards, 2 possible playoff teams. We'll see.
We'll see. Eagles, Ravens. I actually watched some of this first half. Eagles win 24-19. Ravens kind of looked, I don't know,
stymied.
I guess you can say that. I mean, yeah, Eagles are good, and I think I said I had them to win this week. And they don't even have Devontae right now, so they're kind of just running the Saquon bus into the ground, and he's just performing. I mean,
dangerous game.
MVP. I don't know. I don't know. But
Head to head, he beat Lamar.
He's in the talk, but Lamar was. I don't know. I guess there was a couple plays they were talking about that he could have ran the ball more and, did his Houdini act, I guess, but didn't work. Eagles, Jalen Hurts runs him in the end zone, finds Goddard for a touchdown. A.J. Brown had a good game. So, hey, Eagles are good. And it should be – I think they play the Commanders coming up. I don't know when, this week or next week, but those two teams they're fun. They're fun. I'd rather watch the Commanders, in my opinion, but those two teams are the cream of the crop in that whole division, beyond everybody else.
Last week I think I got it wrong. I think I said that they won 7 in a row, Philly. And that's why I took Baltimore, but I think I said they won 9 in a row, but I think they won 7. I don't know where I got 9 from.
I think
but
you're
they're
making
hot.
Numbers up.
The Eagles are, unless Jordan Love and the Packers can knock off Detroit this weekend, which I think is tomorrow night. I could be wrong about that.
Thursday night game. No, you're right.
Unless the Lions can get a scare from the Packers, I think the Eagles are.
I lost the sound there for a minute.
You all right?
Yeah, you're back. Oh, you're back. That's good. Niners, Bills. Niners are atrocious. McCaffrey gets hurt. They ran him into the ground. He had a great start to the game. It was a disaster weather situation for both teams, but one team really wants to win. Another team absolutely sucks. The 49ers are just – it's like watching the 49ers from 10 years ago when there was nobody on the – when nobody was on the field. Purdy is – I don't know anymore. And I hate to say it like that, but look, only reason I'm not giving up on anything is because of no Ayuk, no McCaffrey, now no Mason. It's been a bad run the last couple of weeks, and they look beat up. Fred Warner walked out of the game the other night. He was hurt. He's been hurt. He's been playing through it. No Greenlaw all year because he's not healthy from the Super Bowl still when he blew his Achilles out. So and I think this is insane too. The conversation of getting rid of Shanahan is just fucking asinine. He's one of the top 5 coaches in the NFL, and he's pretty damn good at what he does. I don't see a lot of guys stepping in to this organization next year and being as successful or nearly anywhere in a conversation. I think that's a tremendous step back if that's even on the table. But
You know who was a Niner?
The Jets head coach,
You know who was a Niner and you think is going to go to the NFL?
Dion. 94, he won that Super Bowl. It's a lost season. It's been a lost season. It was from the beginning. It was going to be a tough sledding. And it's all come to a head now, and they got dismantled by a very good Buffalo Bills team.
Yeah, I didn't put this. I wasn't trying to pile up on you by putting. Obviously, I'm going to put the Miami game on because that's a huge game in college. This game was more. I put this on to talk about the Bills. I'm not going to bash the Niners. Snow, they probably didn't want to be there. It looked like, and I'm just looking at how the Bills were reacting and acting and playing and how they looked, especially with the Cooper flip back. So Josh Allen has a passing and receiving touchdown on the same play, the lateral. It felt like a homecoming game, and you don't see those often in the NFL. So the Bills look damn good. The Bills might be the best team in the AFC. The AFC.
AFC, yeah.
So we'll see. I think it's a 3-headed race. I don't believe in the Steelers. I don't believe in the Chargers. In a close game late, I think that Phillip Rivers end of the game, down 7 with a minute left. I think that's going to be Herbert's career down the road. I don't believe in the Broncos. I think the Bills, Ravens, and we'll see how the Chiefs look with a better running game. I think it's a 3-headed race and probably a 1-headed race with the Lions. Bills looked great. I am 0-2 in fantasy because of snow. I'm not happy about it.
Can't prevent that.
So that sucks. So we'll see. I'm not gonna. I have nothing to say on the Niners other than we'll see. I have not heard rumors about a coaching change. I have heard whispers about maybe the Dolphins being sick of losing to good teams. Maybe they do a coaching change.
It's a fucking circus down there. What do you expect?
Miami?
Yeah, it's like fucking daycare.
Well, with Tua in them?
Look, you give me the top 5 teams right now in the NFL. Top 5.
Lions, Eagles, Bills, Ravens, Chiefs.
Beside Dan Campbell, which had coached many teams before he got this head job, and I think Sirianni's a fucking clown. Those are all senior-led coaching, and that's
Andy
a
Reid,
huge
Harbaugh.
difference. It's a big difference, and when you have these guys that are young coordinators like McDaniel, Shanahan is an exception because he's been involved in the game since he was probably conceived. It's ownership and leadership, and all the teams you had just mentioned, and the Lions up until the last couple of years were an absolute train wreck, right? But they're always in conversation on the top echelon of teams in the league, and their coaching and their staff is, been around a while. When you got guys like the Dolphins and, do you think like if Joe Burrow had Andy Reid, the Bengals are losing all those games this year?
No.
And I know he's a good coach. I'm not knocking his coaching, but like, like let's just flip it. Let's say Jim Harbaugh went to the Bengals this year. I mean, it's a different situation.
If he went to the Bengals,
Yeah,
and he didn't do the tear down that he did with the Chargers, they might be undefeated if you could turn a defense around like that.
it's what you had said before. It's motivation. Do you think Mike McDaniel doesn't walk through the door motivating anybody? He's just happy to be there because he thinks he's one of the boys. Guy shows up in his newest Jordans and his Gucci sunglasses, and he thinks
He's bidet.
that wins games. Yeah, he's bidet. He thinks that's going to win games. Meanwhile, Tariq Hill's having 10 kids a week. Two is in concussion protocol. It's just this. There's no direction. There's no it's just all over the map with everybody. Like,
when
do
healthy,
they really need
when healthy,
OBJ?
they're good.
Oh my God.
Good, not
the
great.
defense is fucking brutal. They have Ramsey and they have the other kid. They're supposed to be good.
Well, they lost. They lost the big D lineman who I can't think of his name, who's hurt right now. Who's pretty damn good, but they lost a lot on defense. It's all about Tua. I think Tyreek's hurt. And listen, I'm by no means do I have love for the Dolphins. He's a player's coach, like you said it. He's not. I think he's like around 500 for his career.
Good coordinator. I'm not questioning that.
Yeah. So I'm just saying that they've hearing whispers of possible coaching change down.
Just real quick too. I think the Packers are like
coming
5-1 since Salah joined the staff.
Hey,
I mean, it was
good coordinator,
it was all
right?
his fault. It was all his fault in the Garden State. But
Bill Barnwell for ESPN just wrote how it didn't work. Firing him made no sense and didn't work. But I'm the crazy one. I'm the crazy one who said, I don't know. There were two things that bothered me in sports with my teams that people were saying I'm crazy, and I've turned out to be right about both. So
yeah,
everyone who talks to me is
Lucas
not
Duda.
on my level. I have a podcast. No, but
Lucas Duda.
No.
Was singing Jingle Bells with Justin Turner last night, and you got upset.
Yeah. If I ever see Duda again.
Let's finish this NFL.
Let's wrap up the NFL, then get out of here.
Let's wrap it up. Browns at the Broncos. Jameis. I don't know. Jameis is one of the most entertaining people in this whole league. Broncos win 41-32. Browns defense is supposed to be good. They're not, I guess. Bo Nix and the Broncos dismantled them, I thought. Well, I shouldn't say that because I think Jameis did throw a couple pick sixes, but good win for the Broncos again. They're the up and coming here, I guess. Bo Nix is for real. If they want to say that, I don't know if that's true or not, but I don't believe in him. I don't believe in their coach. I don't know. I don't like him anymore. I think he's a dirtbag. Ever since whatever gate that was part of down there with Vilma and all those guys, but I think he's a dirtbag. Yeah, whatever the fuck it was. Who cares? They stink. He stinks. Good win for the Broncos.
I could feel your dislike of the NFL growing every game breakdown.
Do you want me to be honest with you about the NFL? If I never saw another NFL game, I wouldn't care at all. I just wouldn't miss it.
It is so overrated.
It's very overrated. If I can just watch college football and college basketball the rest of my life and the New York Mets, I'd be a very happy person.
If there was no such thing as gambling, the NFL would be like 5th place in the world in sports.
Yeah, because soccer and those other organizations are more entertaining. Women's basketball is more entertaining than the NFL.
Soccer in a second.
I hate to say that, but
I'm a fan.
It's true.
Sabrina Ionescu. All right, so yeah, 2 pick sixes. I think any game Jameis Winston is throwing in, I think it lends to a shootout because he's not going to give a fuck, and he's very entertaining, like you said. He'll hurt you, but he'll help you. But it's a coin toss with him. So, all right, time for Diaper Dandies. Now when doing something different this week, I'm only highlighting one.
Nice.
Because we haven't talked about him all season, and he's been pretty damn good. And he might take the trophy out from under Daniels and Bo Nix because he's been solid. He's been the one bright spot on a really bad team. Talking
Really
about
bad.
Brock Bowers, rookie tight end. 84 catches, 884 yards. That's 10.5 yards per catch and 4 touchdowns. He's a stud. He's a beast. He was in college. It's probably a big reason why they keep throwing interceptions over there because they don't have him and McConkey running routes. So Brock Bowers giving you a tip of the cap, sir. Keep doing what you're doing, and that's Diaper Dandies. I wonder what his Rookie of the Year odds are. Might be worth putting a little money down. He's going to get 1,000 yards, you assume. So it's pretty impressive for a rookie tight end. They stink, but he's damn good with a shit quarterback situation. So we'll see. I'm sure Dion would love to coach him and Shador.
Yeah, I guess so. Shador stinks.
I think I've lost Vin until Vinny Vidivici. All right, Vin, take a breather. I'm going to go run through some shit right now.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening.
All right, I brought up the MLS playoff bracket a couple weeks ago. Never went back to it, and now it's time to go back to it because we have the MLS championship Saturday, December 7th. The number 2 seed from the West, the LA Galaxy, versus the number 7 seed from the East, the New York Red Bulls, or Red Bull New York, however you want to say it. LA Galaxy's favorite, minus 120 favorite. Red Bulls plus 300 underdog. We'll see how this goes. I don't know much about either team. I'm not going to lie. I'm not a big MLS guy. More of a European dude when it comes to my soccer. But if you're a soccer fan, go out and watch it. Support the MLS. Last thing we reported on that playoff bracket was that Messi was gone. First round exit for the Miami squad, Inter Miami. So, and then we'll NBA. Just gonna quickly update it because our show's been very heavy football, so we haven't gotten into the world of basketball. So NBA, the East, the Cavs are 19-3, playing great, playing with the new coach Kenny Atkinson, who knows some of these former Nets very well. Is a very good coach. KD and Kyrie, I guess it was Kyrie mainly, really shouldn't have outed him there because he knows what he's doing. They probably didn't want to listen to him. Probably didn't have the resume they wanted, so they got Steve Nash, who had no coaching resume. But whatever. Celtics 17-4, followed by Orlando and then the Knicks. So we'll see what happens in the East. See if Cleveland can hold on there. The bottom of the East, Sixers are 5-14. They haven't had their whole team. Maxey just got back. Paul George is starting to play. We'll see what happens. Embiid says he wants to play back-and-backs, but earlier said he's not going to play back-to-back. So
he's a loser.
Adam Silver, I love you. I think you're the best commissioner in sports by far. No. He's by far the best commissioner in sports.
No.
How's that an argument?
Gary Bettman's good.
He lost the whole season to a lockout. he's just bouncing back from that. He went to Versus with a TV contract.
NBA sucks.
You couldn't find the NHL for like 3 years on TV. NBA is the best run league. I don't care. It's not. I don't even think it's an argument. It's the best run league in sports.
It's just not entertaining.
It's the healthiest league going. Even if ratings are down, people will watch in the playoffs. Sixers 5-14, brutal. See if they can dig out of that like the Bucks just did. The Bucks 7 straight wins for Milwaukee. Looked like Doc Rivers was going to be out of a job. He turned that around very quick. Giannis is playing out of his mind. To the West, OKC, my pick to make the finals against Boston. Even though I think hopefully the Cavs or Magic might have something to say about that. OKC 16-5 at top of the Western Conference, and then followed by like the younger teams. The Rockets are 15-7. Dallas is up there. Memphis is up there with a healthy Jaren Jackson, healthy John Morant, and then the surprises at the bottom of the West. The Pelicans are 4-18. brutal.
The Knicks dismantled them the other day.
And they're terrible. And then the Wolves are 10-10.
They stink too.
So hopefully Ant-Man can get some help in a deadline deal. They have
How much more help does he need?
Like,
He's got Julius Randle. What more does he need?
You think Julius Randle's good? You think Julius Randle's a piece that puts them over Dallas last year?
I mean,
no, Ant-Man needs help.
What
Rudy Gobert can't score. Rudy Gobert can't shoot free throws.
He's got Devo there too.
No, the Wolves need to stop.
Right. I mean, they
and
made
then
the trade.
We'll go to the ice now. No, Ant-Man needs help. He's not Jordan. I know people were saying he was last playoff.
Who did they have last year that they made the run?
They had Towns, Conley.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, no, I forgot about Cat because he's been a Knick now and he's been playing pretty well.
Yeah, but even in the playoffs, they needed another guy. Cat is up and down. He's a roller coaster in the playoffs. NHL, the Atlantic, the Leafs and Panthers, both with 32 points, playing very well. No surprise there with all the talent on those rosters. The Metro, the Caps and Devils are up top with 36 points. Devils are playing great. They just put up, I think, a 4 or 5 spot on the Rangers at the Garden.
I have them in the finals.
I know, and the Rangers were mine. I was kind of hoping to jinx them, and I think I might have.
You
the
definitely
Rangers
did.
are talking about maybe moving some players. I've heard Kreider to the Bruins. I've heard Kreider to the Canadians.
Shambles.
So keep an eye out on those Rangers. You know, I love those teams that play at the Garden. And then the Central, the Wild, having a great year, 38 points. They've jumped Winnipeg, who we've mentioned before. And then out in the Pacific, kind of the same old story every year, right? Vegas, 35 points. They're up top.
Unbelievable for
some MLB
organization that's really kind of new. And you would think that they've been around for I mean, it's really unbelievable what they've done in the short time they've been part of the league.
I wish my team got to handpick their freaking players from other rosters and then didn't get anyone taken from them when Seattle Kraken came in.
Kraken's
good for them.
Kraken's got a good run. Yeah.
All right, so quick MLB. I don't think we talked about Snell. I don't think we talked about Snell going to the Dodgers. I don't think we mentioned it. You have any thoughts on that?
Loser.
No thoughts on Snell?
So do my thoughts include these deferred contracts that the Dodgers keep throwing out at everybody?
Yeah, whatever you want to talk about.
No, I mean, listen, I will be the first person to say he would have been at the top of my list if I'm a New York Met. Listen, the money talks. I think he's a real West Coast guy, even though he did pitch in Tampa to start. But
I wouldn't have added him to this Met team. I don't think he goes deep. I don't think we have the bullpen for him, and I think he's overpriced.
Yeah, and in this situation, price doesn't matter because he's not getting paid until 2020 million. So, yeah, I mean, look, they're good. They were good without him. They're even better again now. It's a good pickup for them, obviously.
I think after the All-Star break, he was 5-0 with a sub-2 ERA.
Yep. He was on my fantasy team.
So
the game that I needed him to pitch, I don't think he got out of the first inning. So fuck him and the Dodgers.
Top of the rotation, you go righty, lefty, righty, lefty. You go Ohtani, him, Glasnow, Kershaw, or do you go Snell, Ohtani, Glasnow? They're an analytic team, so I'm guessing they go righty, lefty.
Probably righty, lefty. I hope that building burns down. I hope none of them pitch. Glasnow is made of glass.
No.
Yeah, lefty, righty. I think everybody forgets Ohtani's going to pitch this year.
He doesn't need to. If everyone comes back healthy, he
I
doesn't need to.
know they're deep, man.
Justin May.
Yeah. No, does Bobby Miller come back? Is he on that roster still?
I believe Bobby Miller. They still have what's his name? Gonsolin.
Yeah. So listen, they're
They're deep. They're deep as hell.
They're
and
deep.
It's time for the Mets to mimic them.
And I think that's what they're trying to do because, and they're not household names like Glass now and Snell and Otani. I don't really count him as a pitcher as much as those other guys I just mentioned. And Snell and I don't know, Kershaw is probably gonna come back and pitch the fucking World Series or something. But I think, oh man, I don't know. I mean,
you said the Mets are trying to do what? Trying to mimic the Dodgers by signing our next name on the list, Frankie Montas.
I don't listen. There's a lot of moving parts right now, and I shouldn't say that. There's one part that's not moving right now that's really fucking everything up. And Soto is really just putting everything to a stop because, look, I'll say it again. If I wake up tomorrow morning and the Dodgers sign Soto, I wouldn't be surprised, okay?
There's no way. There's no way.
We've said it a couple different times. Right? No, I'm not. I can't say that anymore about them. I can't say that about him. I can't. I just can't. Only reason I don't think it's a possibility is because he will not take deferred money.
Yeah, I agree. That I agree.
Zero
He's turned down way too much money. He's turned down way too much money. He wants his money now. So,
I'm gonna say this again, and I'm gonna say I listen. I don't know what you get out of Frankie Montas. Is it? I mean, I have no idea. It's the same conversation. If we would have had this last year, I was the first person to say, what are we doing signing Sean Manaea? Because if you watch his body of work in the last 5 years, it's been terrible. And he completely proved me wrong. I don't give any credit to Hefner. I think whatever he did on his own, this kid, and figured it out, he figured it out.
You watched Chris Sale.
That's good. Chris Sale's a Cy Young winner this year. I guess these guys like Hefner. I'm assuming because he's stuck around. He's endured the coaching changes and so on and so forth. But I don't know what you get out of Frankie Montas, who's got a 4.82 ERA. I know he throws hard. I know he was good in Oakland. That was many years ago at this point. I know he was team. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. They're talking about other guys like Clay Holmes as a starter. Clay Holmes can't pitch one. He can't pitch 1 inning. He can't pitch 1 inning. What's he gonna get? No, I know. So this is the shit. Okay, look, that we don't need Clay Holmes as a starter. Okay, and there's other teams that are even in that conversation. The New York Mets need to get this Soto thing finished one way or another. And if I'm nervous because I don't know what the plan is after they sign him, and what resources do they have?
Corbin Burns.
They need Corbin Burns. They need the Japanese kid. I don't know. Can he be on the roster this year?
I think you have to give him a minor league deal, but yeah.
Okay. Those are so let's hypothetically throw this out here quick and then we can move on. What's plan B? Soto signs with the Phillies. What's plan B? Or the Yankees?
I would hope they pivot to Willy Adames and Santander.
Oh yeah. I mean that's a big difference in production. And then what about Alonso?
You would have the money to bring him back if you're flirting around 650, 700 mil. Maybe you bring Alonso back, bring in Adames, you bring in Santander, and you just please bring in as many arms as possible.
Bring them all in. Bring every arm in as possible. I agree.
I'm not high on the Montas deal. I don't think he's Quintana. I don't think he's Severino at their best. Manaea, I did like in Oakland, but
going into last year, they're all on the same. What were you getting out of Severino this year? What were you going to get out of Manaea this year?
Quintana and Severino at least have shown you have shown you they're at worst a number 3 starter. Severino was an ace for a little bit, but
I think you're playing with fire with bringing some of these guys back in here. I think you squeezed every ounce of juice out of them, and I think, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm very grateful for the 2024 New York Mets. I'm grateful for the run that they had. You can thank Lindor, you can thank Alonso. The pitching was very good. I don't see Sean Manaea coming back here and doing the same thing again. Quintana had a really, really, really rough start this year. It took him up until almost August to really kind of figure things out. Peterson was a real blessing coming back from injury, because before that it was a really tough situation. No Senga. So I'm not throwing this Montas thing on, I don't know what to expect, I guess is what, and I didn't know what to expect last year, but I don't think those other guys are going to come back again and give you everything they gave you this year and then some. I just don't think it's possible.
Here's my point is, Manaea, Severino, great years.
Yeah.
Peterson, phenomenal year.
Yeah.
It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to beat the Dodgers. The Braves are going to be healthy. Philly's going to do something.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't enough, and all you're doing is replacing them with equal or less than talent. Like, you got to get a Burns, you got to get a Bieber, you got to get a Roki.
Yeah.
You got to get frontline guys, because the Dodgers were good enough to just throw 3 starters out there and then the bullpen game. The Mets could never do that.
Nope.
They weren't good enough.
They tried.
As good as the year was, as fun as it was, as surprising as it was to go as far as they did, it wasn't good enough, and you haven't improved the team.
Not yet.
Not yet, at least. So, all right. And then last thing, MLB. You have more?
No, I'm just tired of waiting for fucking Soto to sign a $700 million contract and holding my life up at this point.
This was always the thought, though. It was always the thought that he was going to wait till around the winter meetings.
That's fine. It's next week.
5 days, I believe.
Yeah, Sunday.
So, So if like the 15th, 16th, 17th comes and he's not signed, then something's up. But I heard he's starting to eliminate teams. I don't know who.
Yeah, he did last night, supposedly.
Last thing MLB, and then we'll do a little quick Vinny Vidivici, and then we'll get the hell out of here. The MLB, specifically Rob Manfred, on a podcast, I believe, said that the golden at-bat rule has been talked about as a potential implementation, maybe to an all-star game first, and then we'll see. So I've heard people say, let's do it. Not many. I've heard people say they absolutely hate this. The majority of people absolutely hate this. You're changing the game of baseball. What the golden at-bat rule would be was you get one batter, and you could bat him anywhere in the lineup one time. So the assumption would be you'd get Judge, Ohtani, Trout. You'd get them no matter what in the 9th inning. And then your brother Vin was like, so Ohtani can go up in the 9th, strike out, and then bat the next at bat. And I was like, yeah, that was what the rule would be. So you're changing the game of baseball. That's not my issue. My issue with this, being a Met fan they have the most money now in baseball. My issue is if you're letting the Reds, Marlins, Royals, Tigers, Pirates, Padres, Giant, you're letting all the mediocre to bad teams off the hook if they can just bat their number 3, 4, or 2 hitter whenever in a big spot. You're letting the teams that don't draft well, you're letting them off the hook. I am a fan of a big market team who has the most money out there. They might not spend the most because the Dodgers are wild, but I don't want that. I'd rather have a deep lineup because my team spends money, so I have trust in my 7, 8, 9 hitter than, we get Lindor in the 9th, or I'd love if it's Soto, but that's my angle on it. I know people take the other angle on it that are against this, that say you're changing the rule of baseball. It's been around for 100 years. You're changing the fundamental game and the lineup situation. So that's my spin on it. Doing it with a Mets goggles. How about you? How do you see this?
I think we talked about you talk about really good commissioners before. I think this guy's a fucking asshat. Okay. I think for what he's done for the game so far with the ghost runner, the 2 outs, it's not baseball. I mean, would it be cool to just put the ball in the 20 if you're down a touchdown in the last 2 minutes of a game and just give the ball back to the other team? I mean, it just doesn't. What are you playing? Like, why are you playing 8 innings if you can just do that and whenever you decide to? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't. It's asinine. He has to go. I mean, it's just it's embarrassing for what goes on. For that conversation to come up, in my opinion, it's so bad.
To me, it tells me he doesn't like his product.
He's so out of touch with reality, that guy, in certain aspects, and this is one of them. You're right. I mean, it's what are we promoting to these teams? So like you had mentioned before, and this will take me into everything else. What are we doing as far as, all right, minor league systems, like you said, like we're not gonna put the resources into that because just because you guys are terrible at what you do and you can't figure it out and draft the right way, and it's so bad for the game, in my opinion. It's not the game. If that was the game, then it's just not. If what I'd like to just yell and curse and scream it because I think it's so fucking asinine. But it's right. Like yeah. So like you're the Arizona Diamondbacks. I'm just gonna bring them up because I think they suck too. And you're just gonna bring Corbin Carroll up after he struck out in every game and just put him the best bat up every single game that you might be down a run with guys on base or 2 runs with guys. It's just fucking stupid. It just doesn't make sense.
And then you got to figure out.
Yeah,
And then you got to figure out.
He's got to go.
To your point, Corbin Carroll. Say Carroll leads off the 9th, gets a single, but they want him up again because he's got good numbers against the closer. Who's on first?
Right. I don't know who the fuck's on first.
You have to figure out all that shit out.
I don't know. It's such a disaster. I think it's just more conversation. If you want to have like a celebrity softball game and do that or something, do that on All-Star Weekend. But you're taking away from the game. You're taking away from scouting. You're taking away from a lot that goes into it. And you're promoting nothing positive for the game, in my opinion. You're for what? I mean, you're just to put fans in the seats. Go do what the Diamondbacks do. Go pay $200 for a game ticket to every seat and go watch the game if that's the case. But this is just nonsense. This is just complete idiocracy.
You really want to cut down time of the games and maybe bad lineups. Do something really drastic and go to 7 innings. Go to 7 or 8 innings and only have 7 or 8 batters.
Can I ask a question? What's wrong with the game the way it is?
Listen, I don't have complaints. I don't have complaints. Sometimes I put on a Met game, I get lost on my phone or my computer, and I look up and it's the 8th inning.
That's like rock and jock to me.
I don't know. I think there's too many teams in baseball. I think there's, I don't know. It's just slow. And you did all this to change the game, the pace of play, the time of game. You did all the clock stuff and all that, blah, 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 blah. Why do you still have the reliever rule that they have to face 3 batters?
I don't understand it either. What is
if you didn't want constant pitching changes, that was your first change to speed up the game. Then you do everything else to speed up the game. Why do you still have that rule in, which is a bad rule, especially when it comes to the playoffs? So you can't mix and match. And the playoff games were 4 hours anyway.
Right. Well, that's because they
So,
have to make their money, and that's what
yeah,
this is
it's
all
stupid.
about, right?
Stupid. So golden at
It's
bat
stupid.
rule, we're not for it. Too much change is bad. Whatever. We can get into changes you'd like to see in leagues at a later date. But all right, Vin, I know you have to go in about 20 minutes, 19 minutes. Do you have a Vinny, Vidi, Vici?
I mean, we kind of touched base on the two things that are really that aggravate me. We just spoke about the baseball and the nonsense that it portrays as far as being the biggest hypocrites in the situation because of what you just said. Like, it's all money based, right? And if you're speeding up the game and you think that that's a good advantage of having your best guy come up or whatever advantage you want to have, it's fucking asinine. The games are still 4 hours long in the playoffs. That's where you make your money. That's all you care about. It's one of the greediest leagues that are out there. It's baseball is, and I love the New York Mets, and I watch a lot of New York Met baseball. We're in a big market. We're spoiled lately, but Manfred is just a fucking nightmare. And we talked about it earlier about commissioners and so on and so forth. He is terrible. He's been terrible. He's on the Goodell level, in my opinion. They're both scumbags.
Not so crazy than that anymore. That I said Silver's the best commissioner, huh? Because you just
I
killed
said,
two
and
of
I
them.
said Bettman. I said, yeah. Well, we're not talking about a lot, but it's just not a good look for baseball. They've tried to do too much with just nonsense, and between that and the owners going after guys like Cohen, who paid the money for people, but they don't want to go after guys like that when the Dodgers and defer contracts all over the world. This doesn't fucking make sense to me, but that's just the hatred and jealousy of small owners and big owners. But no, that's a bad move. That's a bad decision. My second argument and my second problem is the fucking college football playoff, which has been, I just can't wrap my brain around. And Alabama football being ahead of the Miami Hurricanes at 9-3. And if you've listened to us for all these weeks, I do tell you that the SEC is on a different level of football. We all agree with that. But when the records are supposed to determine your spot in the final rankings and bowl season and playoffs, as I mentioned earlier, Alabama was moving up spots by beating teams like Mercer, which doesn't make sense to me when other teams stood idle and winning against bigger programs. So I agree with what you had said. I think 8 teams was enough. I think 12 just opens up Pandora's box for all the nonsense that's unnecessary at this point. I didn't think there was a problem with the way it was. There's always going to be a problem. There's always going to be somebody out. There's always going to be somebody on the outside looking in. And that's just that's the reality of it. But here we go again. Let's make more money. Let's have more home games. Let's have these universities. That's fine. But there has to be some criteria here to and I know you were explaining it earlier about this team loses, that this team's bounced out. But I'm just not sold on a 3-team loss, right? SEC team in Alabama being ahead of 10-2 Miami, 10-2 Arizona State, 10-2 Iowa State, and 10-2 BYU at this point. They had their chances. They couldn't beat, they couldn't beat a shitbag Oklahoma team. Okay, which I think is 6-6 so far this year. Maybe they're terrible.
Bad
They're
team.
6-5
They are bowl
now.
eligible. Yeah, bowl eligible.
Bowl eligible. Okay.
Barely.
You beat. Would you beat Auburn this week? Good win. Auburn stinks.
Yeah.
Okay. You scheduled Mercer in November. Embarrassing. You lose to Tennessee, and you got a 2-point game with South Carolina. That justifies being ahead of those 10-2 teams. I can't I don't understand it. And I know, listen, I get it. The Alabama travels, they make money. Nick Saban's the man of the world, and he's not even there anymore. But I guess he's still pulling strings in certain places. But I'm not in agreement with this, and I'm not. Listen, I have said this also. Miami shot themselves in the foot. The Georgia Tech lost. The Syracuse lost. They're not a good team. There's other teams that are better than them that deserve to be in. But somebody has to sit here and explain this Alabama situation to me still. That's all.
Yeah,
That's it.
I wouldn't lose sleep over that because, again, one of those Big 12 teams is going to knock everyone down a peg. What I see when I see the CFP, not to intrude on your Vinny Vitivici, is everyone talks about SEC love, SEC bias, SEC blah, 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 blah. Look at the rankings. How is the Big 10 ranked so highly?
Terrible.
How is Penn State up there? How is Ohio State up there? Ohio State just lost to the worst Michigan team since the Rich Rod years.
I forgot he was even a coach there.
I mean, like, come on. So, listen, I'm an SEC guy, but I'm also, mostly honest, and
It's honest.
Agreed. I can have a realistic talk about it. But yeah. But everything's gonna get ironed out. And you asked me before, if UNLV wins a squeaker,
yeah,
who's to say they don't keep Boise State in? So you never know. There's a lot to be decided. We'll get to it.
I'm assuming the committee wants Jetney to be in there because he's up for the Heisman, right?
Yeah, you never know.
That's the name of the game. That's all this comes down to. And what do we really talk? We're also talking about, in my opinion, in college football this year. If I'm looking at the top 5 teams right now, and we said this last week, Oregon, Texas, Penn State, Notre Dame, and Georgia are the top 5 teams right now. There's not.
I think only three of those teams can win it.
Yep, that's it. You took the words out of my mouth. And Georgia's lucky to be 10-2, right? The Kentucky game was close. The Georgia Tech game was close. I mean, the list goes on and on, but it's just. They got beat by Ole Miss. They got throttled by Ole Miss. Florida played a game. The kid got hurt. I mean, whatever. Mississippi State puts up 31 points against them. Mississippi State can't even spell Mississippi State. They're so bad. They're brutal.
They're 1-5. I'm not holding that against them. Not holding that against them because I think that was the game before Texas. So I think they were kind of coasting.
I'm done.
But
I'm done with this.
We're done with this episode. So, as always, please like, comment, share, subscribe. Do what you got to do to get more of us. Vin, say goodbye to the lovely people.
Alabama UNC tonight. It's going to be a good one. Have a good night, everybody.
UNC doesn't win these games anymore. Got to get better players in, please.
They stink. I think they need a new coach.
They need a new recruiting strategy.
Bring in Jordan. Put him on the court.
They need Jordan. They need Tom Brady.